Dear friends, welcome to another very exciting edition of Data Science Tutorials. Myself, Dr. Suptik Mukherjee. Today's topic is how to apply conditional statements on a combined data frames. Also, we'll discuss on how to look at the joins, the inner join, the outer join, the right join, the left join. But before we move on to the topic, I have a small request. Please don't forget to subscribe our channel. We put a lot of hard work and effort in creating these videos. If you subscribe, it will motivate us significantly. Also, the Jupyter notebook and the datasets have been uploaded in GitHub, the link for which is provided in the description. Now, coming on to the topic. In the last video, I had shown you two frames. One is DF, another is DF1, taken from two different datasets. Now, here I'll try to combine them and have a conditional statement that the weight of the athlete is greater than 100 and try to filter it based on that. So, first, let's combine. So, when I combine, I use the concatenation method and pass on df and df1. I ignore index is equal to true. That means that it's going to have sequentially all the indices as from 0 to starting from 0. Now, when I use the head method here, I see of 5 rows for the combined data frame. Now, before I apply the condition, what I do is first I convert the values in the wet column. So this is the wet column, right? Wet column. I convert these values into um, numeric values. So what I do is I use two numeric function, and the combined data frame, I give this the column name is the data frame name, and errors is equal to course means if it is not a numeric, it will give, for example, this is not a numeric, right? So it will give none, not a number. Okay, so once I have that, the next um, the next operation is to remove all the rows having not a number, and I use drop in a function to achieve that. And subset is weight, which is the column name. So that is stored in a new data frame called weight. And then when I display the weight, the tail means the last 5 rows. Then what I get the last 5 rows, and there are only the numeric values. There are no rows with none. Okay. So now I can apply the condition. So in the data frame weight, for the column weight, when it is greater than 100, then I save it in a new data frame called healthy Olympians. And I give the last 5 rows of that healthy Olympians. So when I do that, the last 5 rows of healthy Olympians, we get this. And you see the weight is all more than 100. Okay. So now let's move on to the joins. The Before I move on to the join, so what is a join essentially? Join essentially is to merge two things, right? So before I move on to the join, let me first split a data frame. So I have a data frame df1 which I've shown before, and then I want to split it. How do I split it? I use the iloc attribute, go from 0 to the end of the. So you know how the iloc works. It goes 0 to 7 means 7 not included. So it goes from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, similarly the last one not included. Okay, And so if you see here, the number of rows is 155031. That means 0 included, right? Last one not included. And number of columns is 7. So 7 is not included. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And that's my split 1. And the split 2 is similar way. This is the split 2. When I show the number of when I try to figure out the number of rows and the columns, you see the same number of rows and the columns as split 1 and split 2, right? But here it's 6 to 11. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5. Okay. And it goes to the end of all the columns, right? So now the first data frame that you have after the split, you have addition to athlete, and the second one you have athlete 2 is sport. Now what I'll do is, for the second split, I will replace the athlete name with none except the last few. So I go from 155031, right? That many we have. So I go to 155020, and I give, for the athlete column, I give none. That means all these things will become none. Okay. So now I'll come to the joins. So I have now two data frames. One data frame, I have athlete, all the names. Other data frame, I have athlete, most of it's none. So I have two data frames, and then you have athlete is the only common thing between them. Now, interesting thing is, let's first understand the joins. So inner join means that it's going to have only the common rows. So it will look at both the data frames on athlete. Wherever there is a matching, it will return those rows. Left join, it will take the whole data frame of the left data frame, and the right data frame, wherever there is a matching, it will provide the rows, same rows. Otherwise it's going to give none. And the right join, it will provide the right data frame, and wherever there is a matching, it will provide the same rows except it will give none if there is no matching. And outer join, it is going to take the left data frame and right data frame and have all the rows. So here you see the left join, right join, you have only the rows based on the left data frame, only the rows based on the right data frame. Okay, so now if you run it, let's see what happens. So if we go to inner join, so data frame 1 split 1, we know we merge it with data frame 1 split 2 on athlete column and the inner join. So now when we have the inner join, you one thing you see is that this is the new data frame merge df inner. But when you see how many rows it is displaying, only 17 rows for the whole new data frame. Right now left join, same thing we do, but we say how is left, and then what happens, it gives the 155,031 rows, right? So all the rows are there. Right join, same thing, 155,000 rows, all the rows are there. And the outer join, the number of rows goes up twice. Why is the number of rows going up twice? Because we have all the rows from the left data frame as well as the right data frame being combined. Okay, that's all, friends. Thanks for watching. Happy learning.